APNvideo.com is on the air, and tonight we're coming to you from Tempe-Diablo Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. It's the 2021 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series on APN as Clancy'S Irish take on the Hou.Cyclones. It's the final game of round-robin play for both these teams. And I'm Jeff Lowry with APN Video Sports. Clancy'S Irish obviously coming out in the green tops. They are 4-1 by way of record. And this is a team that if they win here tonight, they will secure the number one seed. They're a very confident group. This is one of their best years. Brian Farrell at number 23, the manager of this team. On the other side, a talented Houston team, but they have struggled. They won their first game 9-4, but since then they have lost 4 straight, and they'll be sending out right-hander Jose Jimenez. And he will be going up against Chris Vermeer of Clancy'S Irish. Dean Cosby is the manager of Houston. You look at one of the top stars on this Cyclones team. We'll be back with the play-by-play right after this. All right, back at Diablo Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, the winter home of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Dean Cosby on the right. As we mentioned, the manager of the Houston Cyclones, Clancy'S Irish, represented by bench coach Tim Mooney on the left. The Irish taking the field, led by their manager, number 23, Brian Farrell, and starting pitcher, Chris Vermeer. And I believe Houston has been officially vanquished from the 2021 playoffs, as this is the final game in pool play. All right, Rafi Bejarano will start things off here. Jeff Lowry from Tempe-Diablo Stadium, and we're getting set for the final game of round-robin play here in the 40 Mountain Division.
Welcome to Tempe-Diablo Stadium in tonight's matchup featuring
Chris Vermeer will be the starting pitcher here for the Clancy'S Irish. This 40 Mountain Division. We're getting ready to go, waiting for Mick Jagger to finish his song, and we are set to go for this 7:30 start time. Vermeer against Bejarano, and the first pitch is a strike, and we're underway. First pitch, as usual, a little tardy, 7:34. Our game time temperature in Tempe, Arizona is 79 degrees. The 0-1 pitch. And a line drive, base hit center field. So a good start here for Houston. And a leadoff single for the Cyclones. We'll bring up Armando Sanchez for Houston. Sanchez, a guy that can handle the bat extremely well. And he lines one just foul down that left field line. One reason why Dean had him placed in that second spot in the lineup here for Houston, who is playing for Pride today as he takes a strike, and that runs the count to no balls and 2 strikes. So no balls and 2 strikes on a second place hitter that normally will put the ball in play. He can hit to all fields. The 0-2 pitch with a runner at first, and that ball just inside and almost got a piece of Sanchez. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Houston playing for Pride. They come in with a record of 1 win, 4 losses, though if the Irish win this game, they would move into the number 1 seed in this 40 Mountain. Squibbed up the line, a foul ball, and the count holds at 1-2. Well, Houston, who got off to a good start, they had a 9-4 victory in their first game, but they are in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. 1-4 by way of record. The Irish are 4-1. The 1-2 pitch to Sanchez, and that one is in the dirt, and a nice scoop there by the catcher. Bruce Hamill doing the catching duties here today for the Irish. A runner at first on a leadoff single by Bejarano. And Sanchez, 2 balls and 2 strikes, and the pitch. And the changeup is a ground ball down to third, gobbled up there nicely. They'll go second one, and will not turn the double play. Sanchez too fast. That'll bring up Darwin Hernandez, third place hitter in the lineup with the runner going, and he's going to be in without a throw, a stolen base for Houston. And so they will have their first base runner in scoring position. Runner at second base with one out. We're in the top of the first, just underway.
Number 6 is batting Darwin Hernandez.
Full moon out tonight, hovering over Tempe-Diablo Stadium, and now a quick meeting of the mind at the pitcher's mound with Vermeer and his catcher. Hernandez, an outstanding athlete, good speed. He can hit the ball extremely hard, and this ball skips away, and now a late break by the runner, but he's going to make third easily with one out. So Moyer is on deck. Runner at third with one out. The 2-ball, no strike count. And it's 3-0. Vermeer to the belt, to the plate, and he gets the strike call just off the outside part of the plate, but still a called strike, and it's 3-1. One thing that you have to do in this World Series, you have to expand your strike zone just a bit, because they are given at least a ball length on the outside, and this one is rocketed right back up the middle, and it's 1-0 Cyclones. So an RBI single for Darwin. He'll be courtesy run by the first hitter in the batting order for the Cyclones.
Now batting number 18, Armand Moyer.
So a one-out RBI single by Hernandez brings up Moyer, and he chops one past the diving third baseman out into left field base.
Pedro Garcia.
Now the fifth place hitter is Pedro Garcia. He's got first and second with one out, and another nice job by the catcher, though the runner from second will advance. So runners are at first and third for the Cyclones. We're in the top of the first inning. The Cyclones have drawn first blood and lead it 1-0. Runner goes. It's popped up on the infield. The shortstop is under it, and he's got it for out number 2. So Holiday with the put out for out number 2 here in the inning. And now Stephen Bonane is the batter, the catcher for the Houston Cyclones, who lead it 1-0. Runners at first and third here.
Now batting number 8, Stephen Bonane.
Right-handed hitter all the way against the right-handed pitcher, Chris Vermeer. And a throw to first. The runner is back in. Now, big dimensions here at Tempe-Diablo Stadium. 340 down the left field line, 367 down the right field line. And here's a fly ball out into left field, a lazy can of corn, and that ball's going to be caught for the final out here in the top of the inning. So Bernard's with the catch to retire the side, a run, 2 left. After a half an inning of play, it's 1-0 Houston. Jose Jimenez will be the starting pitcher here today for the Houston Cyclone. He's been staked to a 1-0 bottom half of the first inning lead. Conrad Woolsey will start things off here for the Irish. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Clancy's Irish, interesting batting order. They have A, B, and their 2, 3, and 4 positions, normally reserved for maybe your top hitters. But it is not a must-win situation for the Clancy Irish because they have already clinched a playoff berth. A victory here today would make them the number 1 seed, and what advantage that has, well, who knows? So Woolsey trying to get it going here with his team down 1-0. He takes outside 2-0. So Jose Jimenez on the mound, a tough right-handed pitcher. He's got pretty much all the pitches. And one of the keys, I think, for Jimenez is the off-speed pitch. Those are the primary pitch, not an overwhelming fastball. So he's got to sometimes set up the fastball with those secondary pitches for most guys, and he's just hit the leadoff hitter. Crowd wanting a little rhubarb here, but I don't think they're going to get it. Got a bunch of troublemakers to our left. Ian Roberts. Yeah, Donnybrook, that sounds Irish. Love it. And a cold strike to Ian Roberts, the second place hitter. Well, we got a good crowd here at Tempe-Diablo. Well, just a little shy of 9,000 as this one is bounced to shortstop. They'll go second one. Can they turn the double play? No. Instead, the ball gets thrown away, and a good job of backing up is the catcher. For good hustle by Bonane, the catcher. and might have saved an advancement of the runner on that play by hustling down that first base line. Apparently, the lead runner interfered with the double play attempt, and so that will be a 6-4-3 double play. So interference on Woolsey. And now the shortstop, Ronnie Holiday. Bottom half of the first inning, it's 1-0. 2 out, nobody on here in the bottom half of inning number 1, and the curveball catches the inside batter's box. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and it's outside. 2-1 to the third place hitter in the lineup. Again, we got A, B hitters in the number 2, 3, and 4 spots, and I don't think in the 20-some years I've been doing this I've ever seen that. That's inside, and it's 3-1. 423 feet to straightaway center field. The dimensions here, the scoreboard is better than 410, and that's ball 4. So they have their second runner on base. 2 bring up the right-handed hitting and bench coach of the Clancy Irish, Tim Mooney. So Mooney bats with a runner at first base and 2 out. Clancy's at the plate trailing 1-0. The first pitch by Jimenez is outside, ball 1. 423 feet away as we pan back. You see that giant eye wall, and the first time that Ken Griffey Jr. at age 19, Ken Griffey Jr. hit one completely over the eye wall. That gets away from the catcher. The runner doesn't know about it. He's going to head to third and now think otherwise. He would have been a dead duck. So a ball that probably traveled somewhere around 480, maybe 500 feet. And that was the way that Ken Griffey Jr. made his debut here at Tempe-Diablo Stadium back in 1989. Chopper out in front of the plate, and a nice job. Jimenez will underhand to first to retire the side at the end of 1 inning of play from Tempe-Diablo Stadium. Houston 1, Irish Clancy's 0. All right, Jose Jimenez will start things off as we go now to the top of the second inning. Houston got a run in the first. And here's a first pitch swinging, high fly ball out in the center field and deep, and that ball is going to be tracked down for the first out.
Armando Valenzuela.
I'll bring up Armando Valenzuela with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. He takes a strike, 0-1. The manager, Houston, is Dean Cosma. I'd like to thank him for setting up today's broadcast, and we'd like to welcome all the fans on the Irish Clancy side. Or the Clancy Irish pitch. Chopping ball, could be trouble, slowly hit towards second. Nice play, 2 down. So a nice job by Mark Jones. He had to go a long ways for that weakly hit ground ball towards the hole between first and second. So 2 quick outs for Vermeer, and he'll set his sights on number 17, Scott Kring. 1-0 Houston here in the top of the second inning. Ready with the next offering, and he takes inside, and it's 2-0. Nobody on with 1-2 out here in the top of the second inning, and that one is under the knees. 3 balls and no strikes, with Dean Cosme waiting on the wings, hoping for a chance to bat here in the second inning. Darwin Hernandez, an RBI single in the top of the first, accounts for the only run. And that's high, ball 4. He lost him on 4 straight. That'll bring up Dean Cosme coming to the plate. Dean is also one of the pitchers on his own pitching staff.
Dean Cosme.
So let's see if Dean can keep this top of the second inning alive. The first pitch to him in there for a strike called. Runner at first with 2 out. 1-0 Houston as they bat here in the top of the second inning. And this one is hit into left field, and that's a base hit. So Dean Cosme is aboard. And so after the first 2 were retired, A walk and a single, first and second with Wilson Landavazo with 2 out. And the first pitch, nope, they're going to throw back to second and try to get the pick off to no avail. And Landavazo waiting for the first offering from Vermeer. And a swing and a foul at the plate. 0-1. Now Vermeer to Nelson, and the curveball is outside. The 1-2, and it's grounded towards the hole. Could be trouble. Nice play. They'll go to second and get the force out, and that'll retire the side. Nice job by Holiday. And we go to the bottom half of inning number 2 here from Tempe-Diablo Stadium. Clancy's coming up, trailing 1-0. All right, they'll bring Sean Fennell to the plate as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. The Clancy Irish trailing it by a score of 1-0. Fennell, Bernards, and Jones, the first 3 here for the Irish. They'll even the count at 1-1. Second inning of work for Jimenez. As Jose looks in for the sign and rocks to the 1-1. And a chopper towards the hole, and that took a big hop and bounces over the shortstop's glove out into left field, base hit. Now Mike Bernards, he'll bat with a runner at first base and nobody out. A leadoff single here by Fennell. He's got a modest lead at first base. And Jimenez to the plate and trying to bunt a pitch that was out of the strike zone for strike 1 call. No balls and 1 strike. Runner goes. Pitch is taken low for a ball. The throw down. The throw beat him, but it was high. And that'll be a successful stolen base for Fennell. And he is in scoring position for Clancy's. And he represents the tying run here as we play in the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Houston. 1 ball, 1 strike. And popped up, and this is playable for the catcher, and he will make the one-handed grab. Nice job by Bonane for the first out of the inning. Mark Jonesy Jones will dig in. He bats with a runner at second base and 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning. It is Game 6 of round-robin play for both these clubs. We're in the 40 Mountain Division, and, well, this one's going to get away from the catcher. That really wasn't his fault. That'll be a wild pitch. Clancy's have a runner at third base just 90 feet away from tying things up at 1 apiece. Houston would be more than happy to give up the run to get that second out. Wow. That's in there for a called strike. 1-1 on the left-handed hitter, Jonesy, as he's affectionately called down in the dugout. And that is driven down the line, and that's going to be out of play. Mike Chrisman on deck for the Irish. Runner at third. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. And the pitch, and it's outside 2-2. The 2-2. So another 2-2 pitch coming up here to Jones. Trying to tie things up for the Irish, and another great stop by the Houston backstop. Jose Altuve playing second base today. And the changeup is outside, ball 4. So a walk, a runner at first, a runner at third with 1 out. So Mike Chrisman hoping for Christmas here in October. He's got a runner at third, a runner at first with 1 out. Irish Clancy's down 1-0 here in the home half, and this one gets away, and that's the second wild pitch. But this time it's going to cost Houston a run, and it's 1-1 here in the bottom of the second. So 1 ball, no strikes to Chrisman, and he takes inside and actually got just a piece maybe the shirt. I don't even know if it actually hit him, but if it hits the uniform in any way, that's going to be a hit batsman. That's the second hit batsman in the game for Jimenez. 4 free passes in the game. Runners are at first and second with 1 out. That'll bring up Bruce Hamill. First time up. First time through the lineup here for Clancy's, who have tied things up at 1 run apiece here in the bottom of the second, but looking for more with 1 out and 2 on. Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch, and that's going to be the key for Jimenez. If he is going to throw the off-speed pitches early in the count, he's going to have some control. He's going to have to be a lot closer to the plate than what he has been through the first inning and a third. No balls and 1 strike on the left-hand hitter. And that ball hit him. That is the third batter. If he hits one more, he'll have to come out of the ball game. He won't be ejected, but he will be forced to come out of the ball game. And he is really struggling here in the second inning as Houston is still tied with the Irish, but now the bases are loaded. Well, here's Brian Ferrelli. Actually, it's Brian Farrell, but he's got Ferrelli on the back of his jersey. And we like to thank Brian for participating in today's setup for the broadcast. Enjoyed talking with him last week on the phone, and here's the pitch, and that is inside, and it's 2-0, and Jimenez is nowhere near the plate right now. And that has prompted Dean Cosme to get somebody warming up in the bullpen. We'll try to ascertain his name and number momentarily, and that ball hit him. He has hit 3 in a row, and it's 2-1 Clancy's. So the day is done for Jose Jimenez. He goes 1 1/3 inning. He's given up 2 runs so far, and the bases remain loaded. So you can credit Brian with an RBI after being hit by a pitch. Bases loaded, and
Number 18, Armand Moyer.
So the new pitcher is going to be the southpawer Armand Moyer, and he is in relief of Jose Jimenez, who just completely lost control. He just couldn't get the ball over the plate. And that's too bad for a quality pitcher to come out this early in the game, and I know it's got to be very disappointing. So Moyer will come in, and he'll try to maybe induce an inning double play here. We go back to the top of the Irish lineup. And Woolsey, and here's a ground ball to shortstop. They might do it. Second one, throw it into right field. That ball gets away. 1 run is going to score. And runners are at first and third. 2 runs have scored, and it's 4-1 Irish. Brandon Nance, the second place B hitter in the lineup here for the Irish, who have put 4 runs up on the board and lead it 4-1. He takes a strike. So runners are at first and third, still 1 out. Can't quite close the book out on Jose Jimenez as of right now, but he gives up 4 earned runs and had to come out of the game. He had hit 4 batters. Which, by the way, is not even close to the Msbl record for the highest amount of hit batsmen in a game. And here's a line drive, right field, and it's off the glove of the right fielder. Another run is going to score, and that's going to make it a 5-1 ball game. So Brian scores from first after driving in a run. And a big inning so far for the Irish. They have scored all 5 of their runs right here. I'll bring up the left-handed hitting Nate Clark. Even though an error was charged on that play, Brandon Nance is going to be credited for a sacrifice fly and an RBI. Interesting thing about the sacrifice fly rule, not that anybody cares, but there was a time in baseball, Major League Baseball history, and I think it was during the Ruthian era, Babe Ruth that is, when a sacrifice fly, a hitter did not get credited with an RBI with a sac fly. Now, ask me what years that pertain to Major League Baseball. I don't know. 2 balls and 1 strike, still only 1 out. You got a runner at second, you got a runner at first. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom half of inning number 2, a 5-run Clancy Irish inning, and they lead by 4. Full count. The 3-2 pitch, ball 4. The 4B hitter is Jeremy Barnes. As he bats for the first time here in the home half of inning number 2, he takes a strike with the bases loaded. Still only 1 out here. And a chance for the Irish maybe to break this one wide open already. 7 free passes issued in an inning and a third by the Cyclone pitching staff. And it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Let's see what Moliere comes back with here. He got him swinging on a pitch that was down and away. Let's see if he runs a fastball in, though. They're going to set up on the outside corner in the pitch. Well, he missed the spot, and that was probably the best spot to throw the ball, and he gets his first strikeout of the game. Sean Fennell started this 5-run inning for Clancy's Irish. Moliere kicks and deals. And a ground ball that hit the mound and a nice convenient hop for the shortstop to retire the side. Play by Sanchez, but the damage was done to the tune of 5 runs. And at the end of 2, Clancy's Irish now leads at 5-1. This is APNvideo.com. You're getting a look at Cody Hester to lead things off here in the top of the 3rd. Houston could use some runs. They gave up 4 runs, and for the first 2 innings, 7 free passes, 2 walks, and checked that 3 walks and 4 hit batsmen. So not a very good inning for Houston, but it's early. We're only in the top of the 3rd inning. And we'll have our Houston Astros trivia question coming up here soon. So get your thinking caps on. Our award-winning, much-anticipated scoreboard stumper here on APNvideo.com. Jeff Lowry back here from Tempe-Diablo Stadium, and this one's going to be skied back and out of play. There's Jonesy Jones at second base, and Greg Lyman getting the start at first base for Clancy's Irish as they lead at 5-1, top of the 3rd. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Cody Hester. Mariano and Nahar will follow here in the top of the 3rd inning for Houston. The 2-2. And a line drive out into shallow center field. This ball is going to be dropping in for a hit. Well, a good effort by the Clancy shortstop. Now Ray Mariano will bat and take way inside for a ball. Runner stays put at first base. Good stop by the Irish catcher. Hamill getting the start behind the dish here for Brian Farrell's Clancy's Irish out of the Portland, Oregon area. Well, if they hold on to this 5-1 lead, or hold on to the lead for that matter, the Irish will go into the playoffs tomorrow as the number 1 seed. That's lined foul, and nice catch over there in the dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike on Ray Mariano. At first base for the Hou.Cyclones Cyclones. Came up with the team's 5th hit of the ball game just a moment ago. A runner at first and nobody out. Runner goes, pitch is taken, there'll be no throw and an easy stolen base. Cody Hester with good speed, and he is in safe at second base with a steal. So 2 balls and 1 strike on the right-handed hitting Ray Mariano. And he takes high, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Ready with the next offering. Popped straight back this way and out of play. New pitcher on the mound for the Clancy's Irish is Sean Fennell. And he started that 5-run inning. Actually batted twice, and another one they're aiming for us here. We'll have to tackle this camera if they keep coming that close. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mariano. A pitch away, a strike away, either walk or strikeout here. There goes the runner. He got a good jump. Ball 4, no throw, and a second stolen base. Cody showing off the blistering speed that he possesses. That'll bring up Nahar batting for the first time, and he's the final hitter in the lineup for Dean Cosme's team. He takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Runners at first and third with nobody out. No balls and 1 strike to Nahar. Inside, and it's even 1-1. So 2 strong innings for Chris Vermeer, and now Sean Fennell in there. And that one is hammered foul down the left field line. One ball, 2 strikes. 5-1. Clancy's in the field in the green. And here's a ball rifled into left field, a base hit, and that's going to score the second run of the ball game for Houston, and they cut the deficit to 5-2. Rafael Bajarano will step in here. And now you got runners at first and second, and the tying run comes to the plate, and the first pitch fouled back and out of play. He had a base hit. He has 1 of 6 hits here for Houston, who now trail at 5-2, but they got runners at first and second and nobody out here in the top of the 3rd inning. Off the fist, and a short ground ball to the shortstop, and they get the fielder's choice. Good play. So a nice job by Holiday, and as I always say on these broadcasts, always make sure you get at least 1 out, no matter what. Now Armando Sanchez. Fielder's choice run scored, stolen base back in the 1st inning. Runners are at first and second now, 1 out for Houston, as the Hou.Cyclones trail the Clancy'S Irish 5-2 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss, and that evens the count at 1-1. Sean Fennell in relief of Chris Vermeer after 2 solid innings of 1-run baseball. That's inside, 2-1. That's inside, scoots away from the catcher, and, well, good for Houston because both runners move up into scoring position. Now the 3-1. Popped him straight up. Catcher can't make the play. Now another 3-2 pitch as Sanchez gets new life, and he makes him pay. Line shot out into left field, base hit. 1 run is going to score. Here comes a throw to the plate, and it is not in time. 2-run single for Sanchez. And Houston is right back into the ball game, putting 3 runs here in the top of the 3rd inning, and now trail 5-4. And now Darwin Hernandez, who drove in the game's first run back in the 1st inning, and he had a healthy cut at that one and comes up empty-handed. No balls, 1 strike on the Cyclones' 3rd place hitter. With the tying run at second. 5-4 Clancy in the green uniforms out in the field, and the pitch, and it is in there just low for a ball. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Of course, these games have a 3-hour time limit, and you cannot start a new inning once the 3-hour threshold has become reality. And right now we are just a little over 1 hour into this game, and we have not played 3 full innings. Strike two called. That evens the count on Darwin Hernandez, 1 for 1 with an RBI single back in the first inning. At 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still only 1 out here in the inning. And you got the heart of the lineup coming up. The 2-2 to Hernandez. Hit hard to the shortstop, and he will play at the first on 1 hop, and they will get Hernandez, and that is out number 2. He's nursing a leg injury. He was spending a lot of time in pregame and trying to loosen that up. Now the current pitcher in Armand Moyer. He takes outside for ball 1. So Sean Fennell has come on. He has given up 3 runs and has allowed the Hou.Cyclones to get back into the ball game. Tying run at third, 2 out, the 1-0 pitch, and a wave and a miss, and it's 1-1. In the air into right field. This ball might be trouble, but the right fielder is going to haul it in. Nice running catch. So Travis Coleman takes care of Houston in the top of the third. We head to the home half. 5-4 Clancy's as they come to the plate. You're watching the 2021 Men's Senior Baseball League's World Series from the winter home of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Moyer is in his second inning of work of relief for starter Jose Jimenez. And the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, I'm assuming, is this Ian Roberts?
No, it's Mike.
So this is Bernard's. And he taps 1 foul, 2 balls and 2 strikes as we go to the bottom half of the third inning from Tempe-Diablo. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mike Bernard's. And that's out of play. Will it be into the seats? It is. The 2-2 pitch to Richards. And it's low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Moyer did a nice job in that 5-run second inning, in which I guess Jimenez is going to be charged with 4 of the 5 runs. Chopping ball, backhanded and then dropped at third base, and probably, most likely, would have been an infield hit anyway. That'll bring up Chris Farm. Rule out an infield hit for Richards, and a quick throw over to first. The runner is back in. Dean Cosme anchoring the defense at first base. Landavazo at second. Sanchez at short. Garcia at third. Nahar in left. Bajarano in center field. And Bonane doing the catching for second pitcher Armand Moyer. And we'll get the right fielder here in a moment. That was the one decision that Dean was not sure of prior to the game. Tempe-Diablo Stadium, we're in the bottom half of the third inning. The 1-1 to Chris Farm, and here it is, and a swing and a miss. Good pitch, tailing away from the right-handed hitter, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. You got a good close-up look at Armand Moyer. The 1-2 pitch to Chris Farm. And a tapping ball to the shortstop. It's under the glove, and this time they will charge an error. First and second occupied. Mike Chrisman, a big cut and a miss, and it's 0-1 on the right-handed hitter. So the first two aboard, an infield hit and an error. Runners are at first and second with nobody out here in the bottom half of the third inning. That one got into the wheelhouse of number 1-4, and he fouls it straight back. They're hoping for a couple of shutout innings out of Moyer, but first and second occupied, and a strike called on a pitch that was probably a foot outside. And Chrisman probably agrees with his announcer today. No balls and 2 strikes to Mike Chrisman. Well, time is called, and not sure what's going on here. Chrisman, that was strike 3. That's what I thought. I think the scoreboard was incorrect, so that's a strikeout, a big strikeout here for the Cyclones. And Bonane trying to tell the umpire, you got to be emphatic with that third strike call. So they'll bring up Bruce Hamill. Bruce was hit by a pitch. They have had 4 hit batsmen in this game. Strike called by Moyer. Four hit batsmen and 3 walks by the pitching, but that was all by Jose Jimenez. 1 ball and 1 strike on the left-handed hitting Bruce Hamill. Jeff Lowry coming to you from Tempe-Diablo Stadium on a beautiful night for baseball. Well, we had a daytime high of 90 degrees. Of course, that depends on what part of the valley you're in, but downtown Phoenix here in Tempe, we hit 90 today, but boy, it's really pleasant. It's probably in the low 80s. There's a nice little cool breeze blowing. As we play here in the bottom half of the third inning. And we got a good one, 5-4 Irish with runners at first and second. High chopper towards the second baseman, and his only play will be at second. Nice job for out number 2 to Sanchez on the putout. That was not an easy play for Nelson at second base. And now the manager of the Clancy'S Irish, Brian Farrell, batting for the second time. He was hit by a pitch and drove in a run in that 5-run second inning. Runners are at first and third now with 2 out, and Farrell takes a strike. I think the strike zone might be dugout to dugout here tonight. Strike 2 called. Good off-speed pitch by Moyer. Two out, runners at first and third. Irish clinging to a 5-4 lead here in the home half of the third inning. And the pitch. And it's a little bit high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ryan putting himself in the final position in the order. They are batting a total of 10 in their starting lineup here today. We're in the 40 Mountain. Irish with a 4-1 record coming in. And the 1-2 pitch to Brian Farrell. And he taps one down to third, and it's bobbled. Can they get the out at second? No. And that's going to be another run, and that'll be an error on the third baseman, and it's now 6-4 Clancy's. So Bernard scores on the ground ball off the bat. And for the third time here today, leadoff hitter Conrad Hou.Cyclones. Hou.Cyclones skies one out of play, and it's 0-1. So any run that is scored in this inning will be unearned due to the 2 errors committed by the Cyclones defense. And Hou.Cyclones is now down no balls and 2 strikes to Moyer. Bottom half of the 3rd inning, a run in. Clancy's lead 6-4 on APN Video Sports. And that ball got a piece of Conrad, and he will head down to first base. 5th hit batsman of the day by the Cyclones pitching staff. That'll bring up Ian Roberts. Hit into a 6-4-3 double play his first time up with a little help of an interference call. And just to kind of recap Conrad Woolsey's night here, he has been on base all 3 times, and he is yet to put the bat on the ball, and he has even driven in a run. He's been hit by a pitch twice. He reached on an error, which that's where he got the RBI. So when you look at the box score in the morning, he's 0 for 1, but he's been productive. So 2 balls and 1 strike as Moyer tries to get out of a bases-loaded 2-out jam. A run is already in. Bottom half of the 3rd inning. Skips away, but not far enough from Bonane. So that forces in the run.
Ronnie Holiday.
Shortstop Ronnie Holiday. A tapper foul first base side. No balls and 1 strike to him. Shortstop's done a good job defensively. He drew a walk back in the 1st inning, the only inning in which the Clancy's Irish failed to score. That's a called strike. 0-2, the count on the left-handed hitting shortstop for the Clancy's Irish. With a victory here today, they will advance to the number 1 seed in the 40-plus Mountain Division playoffs, which starts tomorrow. He struck him out swinging, and that'll retire the side. They get a run, leave 3. We got 3 in the books from Tempe-Diablo Stadium, 6-4 Irish. This is APNvideo.com.
Number 9, Pedro Garcia.
Pedro Garcia to start things off here in the top of the 4th inning. And the Cyclones now trailing by 2. They give up a run. They give up... Actually, they scored 2 times in that. Yes, they did. I missed a run. So it's 7-4 now. 7-4, excuse me, as the Clancy's now lead back to 3. They have led by as many as 4. 2 balls and no strikes to Garcia. He hammered that one out of play to the right side, and the count now 2 balls, 1 strike. Three and 1 the count on the leadoff hitter for Houston. And a called strike. Garcia thought that was ball 4. Sean Fennell in his 2nd inning of work in relief of Vermeer. And here's a high pop-up. They were playing deep, and this ball's going to drop in for a base hit. Hit them where they ain't. Sometimes is the best approach to hitting. Al Bonane, the outstanding Houston catcher, digging in. So Garcia with a leadoff single to right field, the 7th hit of the day for Houston, who trail it 7-4. He's going on the first pitch. He got a great jump. There'll be no throw. He's got great speed. Houston now 4 for 4 on the base paths. And a chopper to the shortstop. The runner retreats back to the bag. The off-balance throw to first, and the first baseman can't make the play. That'll be an infield hit. Here's the throw to third. That's not in time. And the Cyclones all of a sudden have the tying run coming to the plate.
Number 33, Jose Jimenez.
That'll bring up the starting pitcher, Jose Jimenez. And a throw over to first, and the runner is back in. That was a low throw. Nice attempt by the shortstop, but Greg Lyman just couldn't quite get the stretch, and it's going to go as an infield hit, and hit number 8 now for Houston. Runner goes. He also got a great start. It doesn't matter. He was hit by a pitch. And now the bases are loaded. The tying run is at first base for Houston. Valenzuela grounded out to second base, his first and only time up. Had a lot of hit batsmen, and here's a shot. Base hit out into left field. They'll go station to station. The run will score, and Houston now trails at 7-5. RBI single by Valenzuela, a line drive, clean single to left field. Hit number 9 for the Hou.Cyclones. Scoring was Garcia.
Number 17, Scott Green.
And now Scott Kring. I like the energy of our public address announcer here tonight. And Kring takes outside ball 1. The bases are loaded, and yes, there is nobody out. So a golden opportunity here for Dean Cosme's team. And it's high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes and nowhere to put him. The Irish have already clinched a playoff berth, and now playing for the number 1 seed. If they win here tonight, they will get the number 1 seed. Here's a ball lined right at the second baseman, no double play. So Jonesy on the play, a routine soft line drive to second, and that's the first out of the inning.
Dean Cosme.
Dean had a base hit his first time up. And he takes just low a ball on a breaking pitch. So Cosme comes up there, C-O-S-M-E, Cosme, down by 2, but the tying run at second. Go ahead run at first. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Let's see if Dean can come through here in the clutch in the 4th inning. And it's 3 balls and no strikes. Sean needs a couple of strikes here. Cosme probably taken all the way here. And he gets the strike, and it's 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. And that's low, ball 4, and Dean has been on base both times. He forces in the run with the base on balls, and it's a 1-run affair. Dean scores from third, and it's now 7-6 Irish as Houston has cut it to 1. Well, the new pitcher is going to be the right-hander, Bruce Hamill. So, 2 and actually 1 and a 3rd inning of work for Sean Fennell, and he has given up so far 5 runs. As Bruce Hamill will inherit the bases loaded, only 1 out, and his team up 7-6. Nelson Landavazo will bat with the bases loaded, 1 out. Second baseman for the Hou.Cyclones. We'll see CNR playing on the stadium speakers as we play here in the bottom half, or I should say the top of the 4th inning. Cyclones have scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings. Chrisman is the catcher now. Of course, Hamill started the game behind the dish. So let's see if Nelson has a clutch hit. It was Cosme's walk that forced in the 6th run of the game to draw him within 1. He's out in front of that one and skies it out of play. No balls and 1 strike to Nelson. Swing and a foul tip, and is quickly 0-2. Nelson reached on a fielder's choice his only time up. He bats here in the top of the 4th inning. Bases loaded, 2 runs in. The Cyclones trailing 7-6 to the Irish. And the 0-2 pitch. And this one is hit down to third. And he's tagged the bag, and that's an inning-ending double play. What a sensational play by the Irish third baseman, Brandon Nance. And they preserve the lead as we go to the home half of the 4th inning. Valenzuela has taken over at second base for the Cyclones, and Loving is out in left field. And Scott Kring is in right field for the Cyclones.
Leading off for the Irish, Moody.
Tim Moody, the cleanup hitter, will be the first batter up here for the Irish as we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Not too many innings played considering we're well over 2 hours into this game. And the first pitch is high and tight to Mooney, ball one. The 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up in a one-run affair. The Irish clinging to a one-run lead here in the bottom half of inning number 4. Moyer came in with 1 out in the second inning. And overall has done a nice job. He's given up 2 runs, but both unearned. 2 balls and no strikes to Tim Mooney. The Irish going with an A-B situation in their second, third, and fourth spots of the lineup, and you rarely see that. Mooney bounced out 1-3 his first time up. Irish at the plate leading 7-6, bottom of the fourth. And that is a 4-pitch walk, the last thing you want to do. Third walk issued by Moyer. He's also hit a batter. Well, if you combine what Moyer and Jose Jimenez have done in this game, they have combined for 5 walks and 5 hit batsmen. And a big reason why they've given up 7 runs through just 3 innings of play. Sean Fennell batting for the third time. Singled and scored in the second inning, and then he started that 5-run inning and then ended the inning with a ground out. So he is up there with a runner at first base and nobody out. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. And a little chopper, but that's foul. And the 0-2 pitch. Runner goes high, breaking ball. Stolen base for the courtesy runner out there, who is Ronnie Holiday. And you'll see a lot of managers, especially in big games. Of course, this is not a big game for Clancy's because they've already clinched a playoff position. But because of the courtesy runner rules, it's almost smart to have, if you've got maybe a slower guy or someone that's aching that doesn't run well, it's good to put maybe a fast guy somewhere either right in front of him in the lineup or 2 in front of him, because then you have a good chance of that guy, if they don't get on base, would be a courtesy runner. Of course, that's still a crapshoot too, but sometimes you'll see guys weaving those faster players in with the slower players. So Sean Fennell has worked the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tempe-Diablo Stadium on a beautiful night for baseball on this October 21st, 2021. That's a grounder foul. A little fielding error by the first base coach, who is Jeremy Barnes. Stay with us for the 5th inning. We will have our much anticipated and award-winning scoreboard stumper, as we will ask you one of the toughest questions in baseball history. It'll be related to the Houston Astros in homage of the Cyclones. There's no professional or major league team in the state of Oregon, and probably never will at this point. I don't know if Portland will ever get one. That one is high and away. He went around, and that's a strikeout for Moyer, excuse me. Yep, Moyer is now out of the ball game. Now Bernard's, he's up there for the 3rd time already. So Mike Ross is the new pitcher for the Houston Cyclones. He's a lefty. and didn't quite catch that. So Mike Ross in relief of Moyer. I thought pitched well in 2 2/3 innings, did not give up an earned run. And now it's 2 balls and no strikes to Bernards with a runner at second and 1 out. And the Clancy Irish clinging to a 7-6 lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It has been a very slow-moving game. We started at 7:34 p.m., and now it is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. I think I said earlier we were over 2 hours. We're not quite over 2 hours. Two balls and 1 strike, and the changeup missed, 3-1. That's a strike called on the outside corner, and Richards trying to duke the home plate umpire. He'll come back and face a 3-2 pitch when he settles back in. Ready with the payoff pitch from new pitcher Mike Ross. Slap to first, and what a nice play down there. And Richards, or rather Bernards, is going to beat him to the bag. Gets a glad hand from his dugout, occupying the third base dugout. So Mike Bernards putting on the speed. That'll be an infield hit. So runners are at first and third, and Ross needs an out as Mikey Jones comes to the plate. Mark Jones. He walked and scored in the 5-run second. Clancy leads 7-6, bottom of the 4th inning. And we're about an hour and 50 minutes into the ball game. Two and nothing to Jones. The 2-0 pitch to Mark Jones. Nope, he's going to throw over to first again. They throw it away. That's going to cost him a run. There'll be an error on the first baseman, and the runner will stay at second base. But the run is Holiday, and the lead is back to 2 at 8-6. Well, free passes and a few errors have paved the way. 2 unearned runs in that bottom half of the 3rd inning for Clancy's Irish, as the count is 2 balls and 1 strike on Mark Jones. And remember, they have issued 10 free passes so far. This one's hit to the right side. Nice job by the second baseman. So Valenzuela takes care of Jones, and there is 2 down here in the inning. And you got a runner at third base, and now Mike Chrisman. 2 down. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Clancy's with an 8-6 lead. Wide shot of Tempe-Diablo Stadium. Mike Ross in relief of Moyer, who went 2 2/3 innings. And he floats one in there, good-looking pitch, but the umpire calls it a ball. And it's 1 ball and no strikes on Mark Chrisman. Chrisman has been hit by a pitch. He scored a run, and he was caught looking. Well, actually, he did offer at the 3rd strike. And here's a fly ball out in the center field with 2 out, and the catch is made to retire the side. Majorano with a nice catch, a running catch. And we're going to the 5th. 8-6, the Irish over the Cyclones on APM video. Hester will lead things off here for Houston. Top half of the 5th inning, and they trail it 8-6 here on APN Sports. Second inning of work for Hamill. He is the 3rd pitcher that has been used so far by Clancy's Irish. As we come up on the 2-hour mark, And here's a line shot that is snared by the third baseman. He has made back-to-back sensational plays. And that is our Marucci big play of the day. Marucci, which is located down the left field line here at Tempe-Diablo Stadium on the main concourse. Visit the Marucci booth on the main concourse at Tempe-Diablo Stadium. Now Ray Mariano. And a chopping ball back to the mound, and quickly 2 men out here in the inning. Nahar batting for the second time. He had a base hit, RBI, and a run scored. That came back in a 3-run third inning when the Cyclones climbed right back in it. They had trailed 5-1 going into that top half of the third inning. And Nahar bailing out, and it's a cold strike. Well, they say the curveball is an optical illusion. Pitch wasn't even close to Hector, and he was bailing out of there. The 0-2 pitch. That one bounces up there. Chrisman back behind the plate, catching for Hamill. Low and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Nahar. And now the payoff pitch. And he lost him. Low and away, ball 4. A 2-out walk extends the top of the 5th for the Cyclones. Typical in the Sonoran Desert. As we go back to the top of the Cyclones lineup and Rafi Bajarano. Runner goes, pitch is taken for a ball, and the throw hits the pitcher. Looked like it hit him right in the belly. Probably the best place to get hit by a ball. So they want to see if Bruce Hamill is okay. A few laughs out there. You got a runner at second base, and a tying run at the plate. And Houston is 5 for 5 in stolen base attempts here tonight. Check that, 6 for 6 here tonight in the stolen base department. So Bajarano lines one to center field, but it's going to hold up and be caught to retire the side. Bottom of the 5th coming up. It is still 8-6 Clancy's on APN video. Current pitcher Bruce Hamill will start things off as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. This is our trivia question inning. Brought to you by APNvideo.com. First pitch to Bruce Hamill. Second inning of work for Ross, and he takes outside ball 1. 4 Houston Astro players, since the team became an organization back in the mid-'60s, have hit 40 or more home runs in a season. Only 4 players. And that ball hit him. So a leadoff hit batsman. That is the 6th hit batsman of the game by the Houston Cyclone pitching, and they have given up 11 free passes in the game. How many times do you see a line score 8 runs on 3 hits? That is exactly what has happened here tonight with the Irish. But they have been on base 11 times, either being hit by a pitch or a walk. And a bunt that, I don't know what that hit. Didn't sound like it hit the bat. Apparently it did. It's a foul ball. And it's 0-1. As Brian Farrell comes to the plate, and he's been busy here today. He drove in a run when he was hit by one of those 6-hit batsmen back in the 2nd inning. And then he reached on an error by the third baseman. He had a good cut at that one and fouls it back, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Kind of like these Irish uniforms, like Brian's socks. I don't like when they pull it all the way down. Of course, that's just a personal preference. Clancy'S Irish. No balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff hitter was hit by a pitch. He's at first base with nobody out, and the 0-2 pitch to Brian Farrell. And a changeup is hit hard right at the shortstop. They'll go 2nd 1. Can they turn the double play? They do. 6 to 4 to 3. And a nice turn by Valenzuela. It started with no, that's not Sanchez. Sanchez has been taken out of the ball game in lieu of number 2, Russell Holder. So a 6-4-3 double play, 2 down. Here's Conrad Woolsey. And Woolsey takes outside, ball 1. Woolsey, the number 1, the top hitter, or I should say the leadoff hitter in the lineup for Brian Farrell. And he has found his way to get on base all 3 times, yet has not put the bat on the ball. 1 ball and no strikes. And he squibs 1 foul to even it at 1 ball and 1 strike. And we roughly have 55 minutes left in regulation play. We started at 7:34. It is now 9:40. A little over 50 minutes left to go in regulation play. The 1-1 pitch to Woolsey. And Conrad takes high, 2-1. So 4 players in Astros history with 40 or more home runs in a single season. Can you name them? We'll give you the answer here in about another, we'll probably do it in the top of the 7th inning. The 2-1 pitch with 2 out, nobody on. Popped him up, that's going to be out of play. Bonane gives chase, but to no avail. Ready to say that in the Sonoran Desert, I mean, we had a daytime high of 90 degrees. It's already dropped to 73 degrees, and that's the way it gets in the desert. A swing and a miss, and that'll retire the side. Good inning for Ross. 3 up, 3 down, and we are heading to inning number 6 in this 2021 Msbl World Series on APN. The Irish lead the Cyclones 8-6. Sanchez to lead things off. We're heading now to the top of the 6th inning. This is the 3rd inning of work for Hamill, and the first pitch way inside, ball 1. Jeff Lowry coming to you from the winter home of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Tempe-Diablo Stadium. It opened up in 1969. Here's a little looper back a second, and drifting out is Jonesy, out number 1. So now Sanchez 1 for 3. He had a single, a 2-run single, and a 3-run second. He scored a run after he reached on a fielder's choice. And he is retired as Jones makes the putout in shallow right center field. Now Darwin Hernandez, who had an RBI single back in the first, and he's 1 for 2. Irish in the field leading 8-6. Game 6 of 6 of pool play in this 40-plus Mountain Division of the MSBL World Series, the 2021 version. I believe it's the 34th annual event. That's going to be played on 1 hop, and that'll be an easy play because of the leg injury to Hernandez. He can still hit the ball, but it's going to be very tough for him to run. Boyer is 1 for 2 at the plate. First pitch is low, ball 1 to him with 2 out, nobody on. Top of the 6th inning. Our trivia question again, Astros, 4 players in Astros history who have hit 40 home runs in a season or more, and here's a line smash out in the left field. Boy, they had him played deep. Base hit Moyer, and he's 2 for 3.
Yeah, I do not want that on my hat. It's insane. I think it wants the hat.
Now Pedro Garcia, who had a base hit his last time up. Moyer at first base, courtesy runner now, and we'll try to get that for you. As Pedro Garcia bats with 2 out, and he skies one back a short. Could be trouble. Long run Holiday, and he can't get there. And runners will be at first and second. Good effort by the Clancy'S shortstop. So a wrong field single for Pedro Garcia, his 2nd straight hit. He's 2 for 3 on the day. Now Bonane, the catcher, who has done a stellar job behind home plate here today. Houston has stolen 6 bases. They have been caught 0. 6 for 6, and a swinging strike for a swinging strike for an 0-1 count coming up to Stephen Bonane. That's outside a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, we got championship play tomorrow in the Msbl World Series. Here's a ground ball slapped to the shortstop. They'll go second one and get the fielder's choice, and that'll retire the side. The Irish solid defense really paying through. And I stand corrected, the shortstop, Mike Bernards. Whitey. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, the Irish with an 8-6 lead. Well, Brandon Nance has made a couple of sensational plays down at the hot corner, and that might be the big difference in this game as the Irish bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning, 8-6, and the first pitch is popped up. Catcher Bonane cannot make the play. The third baseman's got to come in and make that catch. He's got to call off the catcher in that play. Not to be critical, but that is definitely the third baseman's call. And you're getting a look at the new pitcher on the mound here. And it's Scott Crane, another left-hander. So 3 left-handers in a row used by Dean Cosme, the manager of the Hou.Cyclones. So new life for Brandon Nance at the plate. Reached on an error and drove in a run, and he wallops one into left field, and coming on, base hit. That'll bring up left-handed hitting Nate Clark. So the first hit for Brandon Nance, he's at first base. This one skips away from the catcher. And let's see how far he's going to go. He's going to stay right there at second base. So Clancy'S, who needs a couple of insurance runs. Sorry about that. Nate Clark drew a walk his only time up. He is the B hitter in the 3 spot of the order here for Brian Farrell. And he takes upstairs 2 balls and no strikes. .72 degrees. Boy, it's cooled off, and it's almost perfect out here. Snap throw down the second, and he's going to be in safe. Just ahead of the throw. Good tag by the shortstop Holder, who has checked into the lineup a couple of innings ago. Sanchez was out there, and that's ball 4.
Jeremy Barnes.
Jeremy Barnes, the cleanup hitter in the B position, a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning, his only at bat. So he comes to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th inning and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Runners at first and second with nobody out. Well, we were talking about this earlier. Tempe-Diablo Stadium, a ballpark that opened in '69. I don't know how many of you are actually a novice baseball historian, but this ballpark opened for an expansion team in '69 called the Seattle Pilots that technically lasted, I guess, 1 year, and then they moved to Milwaukee to become the Brewers. Ground ball right side, knocked down by the second baseman. He gets up, he throws him out at first base. Oh, what a play by the second baseman. Valenzuela also with a Marucci big play of the day. And probably saved a run. So that'll bring up Sean Fennell. Second and third, 1 out. And really, if you're Houston, you can't really afford to give up much more than a run here. That was a pretty good-looking pitch. I don't know if Bonane maybe came out of the crouch a little early and cost his pitcher a strike. It's 1 ball and no strikes on Fennell. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. The left-hander, the fourth pitcher used today, and it's 3-0 on Fennel. Needs a strike. He does have a base open, and that's high, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Bernards has had singles his last 2 tries. He's 2 for 3. Bases loaded, 1 out. 8 walks now issued by the Hou.Cyclones, and the first pitch inside, ball 1. To go along with 6, count them 6 hit batsmen. And I know what you're saying in Houston, stop bringing it up. And it's low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the Cyclones are playing at double play depth. And they could use a big double play right here and right now. They trail 8-6, and it's high 3-0. Another 3-0 pitch coming up. Called strike on Bernards. Nowhere to put him. The 3-1 pitch with the bases loaded. Strike 2 called on a great breaking pitch. I think especially with his pitcher struggling, who has walked a couple in this inning, that coming out of that crouch by Bonane is probably not the best thing to do, and that is inside, ball 4, and that's going to force in a run and give Clancy's a 9-6 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Scoring is Nance from third. That'll bring up Chris Farm, batting for the 2nd time. And a little chin music knocks him down, and it's 1 ball and no strikes with the bases loaded. Right-hander now getting loose in the bullpen. A very winnable game here for Houston as they are down 9-6 with the bases loaded and a 1 ball, no strike count. And Kring a strike. Kring versus Farm here. And it's hit to third, and he's coming home for 1. Throw it on to first, and the ball gets away. That's going to allow another run to score. Not sure who's going to be credited with the error, and it's now 10-6 in favor of the Irish. That'll bring up Mike Chrisman, 1st and 3rd, 2 out. So 2 runs are in here in the home half of the 6th inning. And Chrisman fouls it off, backing out of play. Bottom half of the 6th inning, the Irish looking for more. And Chrisman hits a high fly ball, hit back into deep left field. That ball's over the head of the center fielder. 1 run is going to score. Here comes the relay. There'll be no throw to the plate. Well, there will be, but it's going to be way late. And Chrisman with a 2-run double to left center field, and it's 12-6 Irish enjoying their biggest lead of the ball game. So Bruce Hamill at the plate. No balls and a strike. That is just off the plate, 1-1. We mentioned that Diablo Stadium was built opened March 7th in 1969 for the Seattle Pilots. They lasted just 1 year and then moved to Milwaukee to become the Brewers. And a catcher, a number 1 draft pick by the Cleveland Indians named Ray Fosse, hit the first home run in this ballpark's history, and we dedicate today's game to the late Ray Fosse, who passed away last week at age 74. You probably know Ray Fosse more for the fact that Pete Rose ran him over in the 1970 All-Star game as the throw goes to second. And that won the game for the National League, the play at the plate. And Pete Rose, I can't remember the injury to Fosse. I don't know if he separated his shoulder. And a lot of people said that he was going to be one of the top or premier catchers in all of Major League Baseball, and it just never happened after that. 3-2 pitch and another walk.
Right. Brian Farrell.
Now Brian Farrell, with his Irish up 12-6, hit into a double play his last time up. Reached his first 2 times. He was hit by a pitch, drove in a run in the 5-run second for the Irish. He has reached on an error and hit into a sharply 5-4-3 double play. It was a 6-4-3 double play. In the air, center field. And this is playable for the 3rd out of the inning. Nice job out in center field. Big time damage was done that inning. 4 runs come across, and we go to the 7th from Tempe-Diablo Stadium. The Cyclones now trail 12-6. This is APNvideo.com. Well, Hamill is coming out for yet another inning of work for the Clancy'S as we go to the top of the 7th. And it's now Clancy's with their largest lead of the game of 6 at 12-6. 7th inning action here from Diablo Stadium. Winner home at Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Jeff Lowry with you. Rance Fredrickson making his debut here tonight at Tempe-Diablo Stadium. First up here for the Hou.Cyclones. And strike 3 called, and Hamill disposing of Fredrickson, excuse me. And I'll bring up shortstop Russ Holder. So that last hitter was batting for Jimenez. And now Holder batting for the first time for Armando Valenzuela. Top of the 7th inning. 12-6 Irish. Our trivia question was the 4 Houston Astros and their history of that team going back to the early mid-60s. I want to say their first year, I wanted to say like 62 or 3. I can't remember. And part of the reason they've only had 4 players with 40 home runs, they played in the Houston Astrodome for many years. And I believe, if memory serves me correct, no Houston Astro player ever hit 40 home runs in the Dome, and that's ball far to Holder as he takes first base.
Foster.
Our first look at Robert Foster. He takes a ball outside. So the 4 players give this to you after the pitch. There goes the runner, and Holder with good speed. He'll make it with these. And the Cyclones are 7 for 7 in stolen base attempts here tonight. 2 balls and no strikes to Foster. And he hits one to left field, and that's a base hit. And Holder is going to hold up at third base.
Ross.
Mike Ross making his first plate appearance here tonight. I'll tell you what, with the balls at this point in the game, they are the same color as the infield. And it's very tough to pick up the baseball. So we apologize for getting over there a little bit late on Foster's base hit. Hit number 12 for the Hou.Cyclones, and here's Ross. 12-6, but they got runners at first and third. Still not out of this game yet. Let's check the time real quick. 20 minutes left in the 3-hour time limit. One ball, one strike to Mike Ross. And it's 1-2. One out. And in the dirt, and a good eye by Mike Ross and a good stop by Chrisman. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, first and third occupied. And a line drive to left field. This ball will drop in for a hit, and that will produce a run. Scores on a 1-out single to left field by Ross, and the lead is cut to 5 at 12-7. So Rick Loving will be the new hitter, and this will be his first plate appearance of the evening.
Rick Loving.
So the 4 players, Alex Bregman, who had 41 home runs, I believe, a couple of seasons ago, as that one swung on and missed. Richard Hidalgo, Lance Berkman, and the all-time single-season home run king in Astros history, a man who hit 39 home runs 6 different times, as that's popped up to Jonesy for out number 2. And I'm talking about the Hall of Famer, Jeff Bagwell. Ironically, he hit 39 3 times, and he hit 40 or more, a club high, 3 times. So here's Cody taking the first pitch outside corner, a called strike. 2 out, you got runners at first and second, a 5-run lead, and if Houston could at least get another run or 2 here, boy, that would be big time, but I think they're going to be taken care of as we go to the 7th inning stretch. Jonesy with the flip over to Holiday, who's back out there at shortstop. They get a run, they leave a couple. And now heading to the bottom of the 7th inning, the Clancy Irish. They lead it by a score of 12-7. We go to the home half of the 7th inning, and Houston still a chance to win this ball game. They're down by 5. Anything certainly can happen. And now Valenzuela is going to come in and pitch in the bottom half of the 7th inning for the Cyclones. That trivia question, and here's the answer: Bagwell, Bergman, Hidalgo, and Bregman. Interesting, Jose Altuve has 4 of the top 5 hits in a single season in Astros history, and only Biggio and Altuve have topped 200 hits in a season. And I kind of would have thought somebody else along the line, a couple of other players might have surpassed that. But only 2 players in the entire history of the Astros have had 200 hits in a single season. Brad has been on base 3 times here tonight as he goes to work here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Travis Coleman is going to bat instead of Conrad here with a 5-run lead bottom half of the 7th inning. And Valenzuela on the mound, and the slider missed outside, ball 1. And he missed outside. 2 balls and no strikes. 10 walks, 6 hit batsmen issued here tonight by the Houston pitching staff. Valenzuela, the 5th pitcher used by Dean here tonight. Dean Cosme. And it's 3-0. And that's ball 4. 4-pitch walk. And that's how we start the bottom half of the 7th inning. Our first look at number 5, Mike Martinez. First pitch. That's low for ball 1. That's a swing and a miss. Yeah, looking at some of the other Astro, I didn't think they had as many 20-game winners, but they certainly have. They've had about 7 different players with 20 wins. And this one's lined out into left field, base hit. So Mike with a base hit coming off the bench. And he gets a glad hand from all the players who are up on the railing, and talk about that team unity. So Mike Martinez with a base hit, only the 6th hit of the day for the Irish. And here is Eugene Grubbs batting in the 3rd position. So the first 2 have reached here against Valenzuela. So 20-game winners, you got Mike Hampton did it once. He's the all-time single-season leader. Jose Lima did it. Joe Niekro did it twice. Roy Oswald did it twice. And you got some possible I wouldn't say Hall of Famers. Justin Verlander probably will be in the Hall of Fame. He did it. Garrett Cole in 2019. Larry Durker, who was a longtime broadcaster for the Astros. And James Rodney Richards. That's out of play. I mean, was there a more intimidating or hard thrower than J.R. Richard? No S on the end. As Houston in the field trying to keep this thing at a 5-run deficit, but nobody out, first and second. Grubbs at the plate. He takes a strike and a quick snap throw down the first, and the runner is back. Nolan Ryan owns the best single-season earned run average in Astros history. In 1981, he had a 1.69 earned run average. That's a swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout. And now they throw it away, and the runners will be at least at second and third. But that's the first out of the inning, a strikeout of Eugene Grubb. Well, here's Steve Gill. He's batting for the first time. The Irish emptying out their bench here in the top of the 7th inning. Check that, the bottom of the 7th inning. And the first pitch is ball 1. It was inside. This would be probably a better trivia question than the one we gave. Who are the top single-season strikeout leaders? I mean, these are some massive numbers. Garrett Cole in 2019 broke J.R. Richards' record, which stood for 30 years with 326. Richards second with 313. And then Mike Scott, who I think had one of the best seasons I've ever seen out of a pitcher in 1986. Boy, I mean, he was just so incredibly hard to hit off of. He had 306. Richard did it again in 78 with 303, and Verlander had 300 2 years ago. And you're saying, well, where is Nolan Ryan on that list? As this one is skied out into center field. This is playable. Catch is made. The tag, the throw will come in. No chance. It's 13-7 Irish. Bench really paying off here for the Irish. Andy Tillotson will be the hitter as the run scores on the sac fly by Gill. So now a runner at second base, and there's 2 down in the inning. Andy's first time up, and he's down no balls and 1 strike. Nolan Ryan's highest strikeout total was 1987. He was already I think he was already into his 40s, as this one is looped in the air to right field and a basket catch. Nice play to retire the side. So Kring back out in right field, makes the catch. So we'll play one more, even though we are 5 minutes away from the 3-hour threshold. Back with more as the Irish lead the Cyclones 13-7. Ray Mariano to start things off as we go to the top of the 8th inning. And truly, before this inning is over, we will be at the 3-hour threshold as we come back here to Tempe-Diablo Stadium. And what a beautiful night for the game of baseball, and good to be back here. We don't have all the restrictions we had a year ago, though I'm shocked, to be quite honest. I thought this thing was worse than last year, and yet you can put 109,000 people in Michigan Ann Arbor Stadium, and Dr. Fauci doesn't say a word about it, but nonetheless, that's all I'm going to say. 13-7, the Irish lead it as Mariano is up there. That's a called strike, and it's 3-1. Ball 4. Well, a 6-run lead feels pretty secure, but you couple of walks, an error, a base hit. Never know what will happen here, especially at Tempe-Diablo Stadium. Well, Nahar has been busy today. He's played left field, and There's an RBI single, a run scored. He's also walked. That was a pretty good-looking pitch. Hamill, who now is in his... Well, he came in the 4th inning. So 5 innings of pitching. Fifth inning of work for Hamill, and he's done a very nice job. He's given up 3 runs. And here's a ball gobbled up by the third baseman Farm. They'll go second one, and they throw it away. It bounces back to the first baseman, and the throw to second is safe. So good hustle by Nahar as he reaches on a fielder's choice, and there'll be an error on the second baseman. So with 1 out, you got a runner at second base, and Chris Carrillo will bat for the first time. We were talking about Houston Astro all-time leaders, innings pitched in a season. With all those great pitchers we mentioned, Larry Dierker with 305, the only Astro pitcher to reach the 300 innings pitch mark in a single season. So Rafael Bejarano will step in with 2 out after the strikeout. Larry Dierker also the all-time single-season leader with 20 complete games. And Bejarano fouls it off to the left side, 0-1. We are over the 3-hour time frame, so unless 6 runs come across, at minimum, we will not see a home half of the 8th inning. That one is way up there, and the catcher, Chrisman, doing a good job. Jose Lima gave up 48 home runs in 2000. Unbelievable. Dave Roberts, the all-time in shutouts, fly ball center field, and this ball will be caught. The ball game is over, and the Clancy Irish here in the top of the 8th inning take care of the final out past the 3-hour time. And our final score, 13-7. So Ian Roberts takes care of the final out. There he is on the right side of your screen. And he gets a glad hand from his manager, Brian Farrell. We'd like to thank both Dean and Brian for allowing us to be a part of your World Series experience. Well, Sean Fennell is actually going to be the pitcher of record. He gets the win here today. And unfortunately, taking the loss is going to be Jose Jimenez, the starting pitcher for Houston. So the Irish will go into the playoffs tomorrow as the #1 seed in this 40 and over Mountain Division. And they finish pool play at 5 wins and 1 loss. And the Cyclones drop to 1-5. This has been a presentation of APN Sports, Arizona's leader in sports video coverage. So for Tony Kubak, Joe Garagiola, and Vince Scully, I'm Jeff Lowry saying so long from Tempe-Diablo Stadium, where the Irish win it to go to 5-1, 13-7.